Hello everyone, you're listening to the Red Leaf Retrocast, where we strive to find, analyze, discuss, and review entertainment pieces from the recent past in our questionable sense of humor, always delivering the best content with the best quality so we can keep being your place to learn, remember, and relive the past to the present.
And welcome to episode 52 of the Red Leaf Retrocast. We are gathered here today to talk about an anime called Touch. The first arc, episodes 1 through 26. I use a somber voice because it is a sad baseball anime, or a sad anime with baseball in it. I'm joined here with two morning hosts, Hickey and Tori. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
No, great!
Well, I mean, I was drunk until 5 a.m., so, I'm having a great day. I don't know about you.
Good stuff. I mean, I was hungover quite a lot yesterday, celebrating the 4th of July the day before, so made sure to celebrate Independence Day in great fashion. Also did it Monday for Canada as well, so pour one out for the Maple Leafs. Tori, how you doing?
I'm doing good, but that's cultural appropriation, man. You can't celebrate both. It's illegal.
Of course I can.
That's illegal, man. Their culture is not your prom dress. Yeah, anyways, I'm good.
What?
I'm okay. Don't worry about
Your
that.
culture is not your prom dress?
Yep, that's right. Bad memes. Anyways.
Right. That is definitely a part of culture I am not part of.
You are. You just don't know it.
Yeah, I'm sure. So we got a couple topics to cheer us up. A little intro here. We got Hickey and myself's Manga Manhwa Checkout talking Spectre.
Gadget.
They have a lot in common.
We got our summer outlook. Summer 2019 is right upon us.
It's literally started.
Of course,
Yeah, it is
literally started
hitting us in the
yesterday.
face.
A few days ago. 1st of July.
Well. Then we got our anime Touch. Arc 1, episodes 1 through 26, as mentioned before. Whew. That'll be something to talk about. For sure.
Yes, it will.
Whew. All right, shall we get this thing started, or how's everyone been doing? What's everyone been up to the past, 3 weeks? Yeah?
Yeah, almost a month. No, honestly, nothing. I finished my exams. I now have
Did you pass?
summer break. I have to retake one exam, sadly, which is a little bit annoying. I wasn't properly prepared for it, but hey, it's okay. I'll pass it next time.
You'll get it the second time.
Well,
Yeah, I kind of messed up on some stuff, so I know what to expect this time.
I've been working.
But yeah, other than that, it's fine.
Yeah, I've been working, and I bought Bloodstained, and I put a
Hell
lot
yeah,
of
me
hours
too.
inside of that game because it is very, very fun. The music is just amazing. Yeah.
I got a few hours into it. Mario Maker 2 is definitely taking over more of my time. I got the Nintendo Switch version, and unfortunately it has a lot of input lag right now. With some of the weapons. Most of the weapons, in fact. I don't know if you've experienced that, Hickey.
No, not at all. That's why you buy on PC.
PC
Well,
Master
apparently
Race.
the Nintendo Switch version's the one that has the most bugs, but it's really just the input lag. I haven't experienced any game-breaking bugs. I can't use the whip because of the lag, but I can use like shorter knives and swords, and that allows me to play the game.
At least they're
as well.
Yes, please
Go on.
No, you can keep going. It's just a remark that they are trying their best to correct the game.
Oh yeah. I have no doubt they'll fix it. Unlike, let's say, a certain company that makes a Fallout game, or EA.
You can't say that; they'll sue you.
Yeah, well, EA is sad that they're being remarked as bad guys now.
I was first of all, I was talking about Bethesda, but yes, it does also apply to EA.
It applies to both. But I am really enjoying all the games I got this month. I've been trying to fiddle between Judgment, Bloodstained, and Mario Maker 2. Lots of fun. But Bloodstained is definitely... it's meeting higher than the expectations I had, even with the input lag issue. Because it's Castlevania, but anime.
Should have gotten it on PC, man.
Yeah, so we could play together.
I originally wanted it...
But no.
I originally wanted it on Vita, but they... in development, they canceled that version of it. So I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'll get it on Switch. So I can play it on the plane and whatnot, which I did.
Who the fuck uses a Vita?
I use a Vita.
Why?
Because it's an awesome portable machine.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah, come on.
Nah, I don't like my Vita at all. What
do you like the most about Bloodstained, Hickey?
The music. Come on. The music is just amazing. Holy shit. Oh, it's like every single good Castlevania track mixed together. It is great.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's you can tell the developer just gave a big middle finger. He goes, "You don't want me to make Castlevania anymore? Well, fuck you. I'll make an awesome Castlevania game with anime girls and posing."
Oh, you did the JoJo poses?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, it's good that you have one of the special attacks you can get from a monster is stopping time. Yeah, so you just go full Tawardo around. It's great.
Yeah, it does. The random drops that enemies will give you for certain power-ups is it's pretty cool. I think Castlevania Aria of Sorrow did something like that.
It did.
I think that was the game.
It did. It was for Game Boy Advance. Really fun game.
Was it Game Boy Advance?
It wasn't Game Boy Advance.
Okay. So, Bloodstained is definitely a must-buy. It's a lot of fun. I love everything that they did with it. I'll definitely talk more about it on the Modern Cast, of course, which we'll be recording any day now. So, speaking of video games and anime girls, River City... Hickey, you brought this to my attention minutes before the podcast, and that's River City Girls?
Yes. River City's coming back.
River City Ransom, the old NES title.
Yeah. But something went wrong. All right.
What? I don't know what you mean.
Depending on how you look towards River City Girls. But yeah, the classic game from Nintendo came back now with cute girls going around beating up punks on the streets. And the cutscenes they showed on the PV looked very well animated. So yeah, I will probably buy it. And I hope someone buy it on PC, not on Switch. So we can be autistic and play it together.
Mean? Everything on Switch.
Yeah, talking to Tori, I'm not talking to you.
Everything is on Switch. Hey, man.
Everything on Switch.
I buy games that you can play with me on Steam. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying get River City Girls so we can be autistic together.
I mean,
Be autistic together.
I mean, I don't think anything is going to be more autistic than when we played the Korean MMO together. But yes, sure.
Oh, you were challenging me? Do you want
Sure,
to go left
yes.
for that you when we're done?
Not when we're done, but maybe some other day. Then yeah, I need to install it first.
All right, cool.
Yeah, for the PV just makes it look like it's exactly River City Ransom again, where River City Ransom, for those that don't know, it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up where you go in and out of buildings, and you get food and the like, and that'll give you power-ups, and then you can get weapons from enemy drops. Well, the whole premise of that is that you have to save the dude's girlfriends, so this is the reverse situation of that, because everything in the 80s and 90s was the girl gets kidnapped and you gotta go save the girl. So now the boyfriends are getting kidnapped and the girls gotta go save the dudes. So I kind of like the
That's bullshit.
the switch there.
You know that my girl sells. You know that titty sells. And
Yes.
Look,
it's like, why
I get
why
it.
are you gonna put
I get it,
Jotaro
but
Kujo
it's come on.
knockoff as main guy if we can just put delinquent girls they're actually on the rise right now, especially with the Gyaro shit going on. So yeah, like, dude, they still really like cash. So of course they would
No way.
of course they would go with Moi girls, especially if you can customize them.
Well, it's made by Way Forward, and I believe that's the same people that made the Shantae games, which they have a big following with their girl character art, for sure.
Girls sell. In real
Women
life too.
sell. Sex sells. All right. Crunchyroll on their Twitter announced Akira is to be getting an anime TV adaptation by Studio Sunrise.
Yes, there's going to be a 4K upscale re-release of the Blu-ray DVD, and there's also a new rumors about a new TV production and TV series production by Sunrise. Otomo himself has been at Anime Expo, so I assume that's where they got it from. And yeah, it's I have a little bit of a problem here because I'm in two minds. One, because obviously, if you also know, Otomo, it's not just the movie Akira. He also made a manga, and the manga does go a little bit further than the movie did, from what I understand. So,
Right.
On one hand, I'm interested on where they're gonna go. How is this gonna be different? Like, what are they gonna do? Because I'm gonna be a little bit disappointed if it's just the movie again, but TV form. That's gonna be a little bit disappointing if that's the case. So I do hope that they then, actually try to adapt the manga. However, it's Akira. And the Akira movie is pretty goddamn good, and it looks amazing.
It's pretty okay, wouldn't you say, Hickey?
What do you mean?
And I
like
have no
Akira.
faith. Yeah. And I have
It
no
is
faith.
visually amazing. You cannot.
Look, we all liked Akira. We reviewed it on this cast.
You can't look, JD. I was drunk until a few hours ago. I'm not in my best state of mind to pay attention to anything. It is very hard to replicate what we see in Akira.
Absolutely,
I don't even
yeah.
like the idea of upscaling it to 4K because I don't like the idea of upscaling things.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I'm thinking of just ignoring it. And if everyone, and when I say everyone I mean it, says it is worth it, makes justice to what we've seen in the movie, fine. I might check it out. Like the first few episodes. If I like it, I will stick with it. Probably I would stick with it if I decided to watch it because I like the story.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
I
prefer rewatching the movie than going to.
Well, here's the thing. The good thing is we still have the movie.
Yes.
So even if this anime shits the bed, the TV adaptation, we could just be like, well, good thing the movie still exists.
Yeah, but obviously, but even still, I don't want a bad adaptation. Now, bright side,
Well, nobody wants a bad adaptation.
of course, but bright side, my old probably, unless of course Sunrise does this stupid shit where they bring on 2 directors and then have one for the name and then one for the actual production. It should still be directed by Otomo himself, which is a good thing. He does good stuff. I like a lot of his stuff, not just Akira. So that obviously gives faith that hopefully he's going to be able to work his magic. However, again, my biggest problem with Akira is just the fact that, one of the things that makes Akira so awesome is the animation and how good it is. But I have no faith that Sunrise is going to be able to do anything with that, because it's a TV production. It's not going to look as good. Unless, of course, they have, for whatever reason, a fantastic schedule. But I don't believe they will. They don't, because that's not how this works. Now that it's been made public, they have to get it out as soon as they can. So, yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe this has been in development for a decade, and it's just gonna kick ass.
Most definitely not been in development for a decade. It has probably been in development.
They've had the animators strung up in a basement. It is the anime industry.
They do that anyways.
Unable to leave the grounds. No cell phones. No communication to the outside world. Come on, you don't think this has been in development for 10 years? I have hope.
JD, that is just standard anime industry stuff. They do that anyways.
Ugh,
but
you know what?
Now I do expect that's probably been in development for a year already. They wouldn't announce it if it hasn't. But even so, it's I don't believe it's going to have more than the standard 2-3 year development cycle that all anime has.
Yeah, I mean, you can also need to put the anime production into a nowadays logic with the CG and the cutting corners with CG. All those kind of things.
If they cut corners with CG, I will be upset, because then I will be kind of happy, because then I can say, look, this 80s show did CG better. Fuck you.
That is going to be funny when that eventually happens. They'll be side by sides.
How do you have more CG than a movie from the 80s?
Even though it's the best thing that's ever been animated next to Redline. Okay. Well, hey, just like Redline and Akira, I've been curious to see what a studio would be capable of stretching out a story and making more of the world and see what it is. If it's good, then hey, it's a win for us as fans. If it's bad, we still have the movie. That's the way I see it.
Universal Century Akira.
Yeah, well, Studio Gonzo is not doing this, so that's a big bonus in my book. Oh my god! If
Studio Gonzo was doing this, I would have never, ever even looked. I don't care if it's Otomo that would direct it. I would have fucking ignored it.
Look, when we get to our spring reviews, I'm going to light a show up in burning flames. So very much look forward to that. Okay. Well, I'm going to play a drop, and we can move on.
Geeking out of the tower discuss, Andrew doesn't know slang.
I'm actually excited for this, and everything points to that actually working out. If anything, everyone will come out of being like, Elizabeth Banks was off the rock on that one. I don't know what slang is these days.
That was so bad.
I know.
Off the rails, off the chain.
Off a rocker.
Off the rock? Where the hell you get that from?
The Rock.
No, you didn't.
All right, shut up.
And you can find more at that at goattcast.com. And now, back to the show.
Are you here because you're following the will of others? Or are you here on your own will?
All right, Hickey, take us away for our Manga Manhwa Checkout.
Okay. This is a segment where me and JD will highlight a manga, manhwa, or webtoon, whatever, that we've been reading. And this is the 20th checkout over a manga called Spectre.
Inspector.
Gadget.
Yeah, /Spectre, so it's a play on the word.
I hate that word. Makes me feel like speaking in French. Anyway.
Spectre.
It
probably is a French word.
Probably.
Probably.
But yeah, Inspector to be an investigator, Spectre, play on the word of ghosts and the like and spirits.
And
so
Inspector
gives
Gadget.
you an idea of what it's about.
Hold on. It is a manga written by Shirodaira Kyo, and the art is by Katase Chashiba?
Chashiba.
That is
Yeah.
a very eccentric name.
No kidding, right?
It started releasing on 2015, and currently it has 9 volumes. Now the summary from Anime Planet that JD provided us gracefully.
You're welcome.
The 17-year-old Kotoko has a unique situation. When she was a child, she was kidnapped by spirits called yokai and returned missing one leg and one eye. Since then, she has been able to communicate with otherworldly forces, both benevolent and dangerous. Kotoko alone in her power until she learns that the crush she's watched from afar, Kuro, has had his own encounter with yokai, as if being touched by the supernatural was in the story. we were making jokes about touching little boys before, and that came to my mind. It will make sense when we get to reviewing touch.
My heart was touched too.
JD, don't say that when I'm saying about touching little boys. It wasn't enough.
Why you gotta go there? Why you gotta make it weird?
Because it's this podcast. This podcast is a huge joke. What are you talking about? Anyway, Kuro's personal life is also in shambles. With their shared experiences and understanding, Kotoko and Kuro form a partnership to deal with mysteries from ancient demons to the ghost of an idol. Wow. The level of distress and priority.
Yeah,
Asian
right?
demons, whatever. But the ghost of an idol, I mean, it.
Gotta take care of that shit.
Yeah. But for a girl who uses it to dealing with spirits, winning love might prove to be the bigger challenge. That's not a very good synopsis, not gonna lie to you.
It's kind of weird. Usually Anime Planet's better than that. That seemed like a Mal synopsis. So I would sum the manga up with a girl has spiritual powers, as in communication mostly. She's very good at investigative work. She has a hard crush on this pretty boy that she, when she does her frequent hospital visits, she runs into this guy and she wants the D something bad, and the manga really makes you aware of how much she wants his D.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Every single fucking time.
Which is almost endearing to an extent, because she's always coming on to him. She's like, "Hey, so you're gonna take me home tonight, right?" He goes, "No." "Oh, come on! I'm so wet for you."
Yeah, I mean,
kind of deal.
I like it because she's not she doesn't have the archetype, right? Because she's the Ojo-sama character.
Right.
She's the god of wisdom for the yokai, so she's a god. And she has this aura of refinement and superiority. But when the guy is in play, she's just like, "Yo, me and you, chief, right now."
Exactly.
Right here, right now.
I do like her personality. It's quite funny.
Yeah,
and,
I really like about the characters. Honestly, she's the only one who is good. The guy is just a deadpan character. He's just there.
Yes.
He couldn't be a blank. It wouldn't make any difference, honestly.
Yeah, but he's not the character you're supposed to really care about. He's there to get his head punched in, and then he comes back to life.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't like those characters, honestly. We always talk about how it's bad to use characters just for plot reasons, or to fulfill one key feature, or one just to have them there, and it's a very lazy tactic. I honestly don't like it. I don't know. It's the problem with this manga is that everything goes so slow and it is so dragged out, so fucking dragged out. So in 7 volumes,
no disagreement for me on that one.
We've read 2 arcs, and it's the mangas that are released in the US, if I'm not mistaken, right, JD? because you got them.
Correct.
Yes.
I have 7 volumes, 9 is out. I've only read 7 volumes.
Yeah. 7 volumes, 2 arcs. The first one is the first 2 volumes, and the second one is 5 volumes. All those volumes have 17 chapters in them. So it's highly, highly dragged out, and the characters don't develop that well.
No.
I mean, they develop, but it's more like when we said in past episodes, it's not a growth. They just review informations of those characters.
Right. They've already reached kind of their peak of who they are, and you just learn about why they're in that state. There is a third wheel introduced of Kuro's ex-girlfriend, who's also kind of this perfect little woman, and that's the other thing. They're women and they're grown adults essentially. They're still young. They're 18, 19, 20, right? So like the third wheel girl, she has a job. She's a meter maid?
No, she's
she's an investigator.
She's a cop. She's a police officer.
Investigating police officer, but she's low on the totem pole, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Or lower.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. There are some interesting plot developments that do happen with the stories being told. I do like how they really, when we see the ghost stories develop in most anime or manga, it's always just one direction. And in this one, it uses a lot of today's technology and how it affects, say, spirits, which I didn't see coming. I thought it would be kind of this one-on-one fight, like we'd always see in anime, just very simple. I think it's important to know that Kuro, his supernatural power is he can't die.
Yep, he's immortal, and he can see the future as well.
Yeah, he ate spirits of some kind. To just go into the simplistic version of it. And because of Kotoko's investigative power and her knowledge to solve, her problem-solving skills are at a much higher level than most people, she's thinking kind of like a chessboard, 2, 3, 5, 7 steps ahead, and trying to come up with solutions to whatever ghost problem that they're solving. And Kuro's there to fight the physical manifestations of these things, which I quite enjoyed. And the three-way kind of love triangle that's developing there is it's much more adult than I was expecting going into this.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the problem is the guy doesn't give a shit. So it's like
that is the biggest issue.
The biggest issue, yeah. The biggest issue is the guy. Yeah. He only cares about his cousin that, he wants to have his way with as well.
Gotta have those inter-family relationships.
No, I mean, I can forgive him for that one because both of them are immortal, and so it's the only person who can actually understand him.
When you look at it that way, you've convinced me.
Yeah. I mean, I really like detective stories. Really, really, really like the trope.
I do as well.
The awesome detective Sherlock Holmes started with it. Guy who doesn't give a shit. He is also thinking 20 steps ahead of you.
Yeah. I'm actually reading Hound of Baskerville right now.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is interesting. The biggest problem, honestly, is one, the characters don't change in time skips, and it leads to a mild confusion from time to time. The second one is it is too dragged out, way too dragged out.
It's very wordy.
So it's
extremely wordy. Yeah.
Not only wordy. There's a lot of little things in that shouldn't be. You can simplify a lot of the things that happen, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's very dragged on.
The first one, the first arc with when she's 17, basically discovering why she's a god, what happened to the guy in the hospital. Then you have the second arc with the ghost of an idol, which was a really, really interesting arc. The problem, again, is that it is very dragged out.
This is a fantastic example of a manga I would not recommend to be an anime adaptation. I could see this just being constant regurgitation of just just a character on screen, lip flaps the whole time, and nothing happening.
Yeah, I mean, come on, we had Nisio seen things becoming anime, so that's not a problem. I think the biggest
we have seen worse things, but I cannot see this as entertaining in a visual medium.
I can see. My problem is not that. My problem is, like I said, in 7 volumes we had 17 chapters. It took 5 volumes to finish an arc about the first enemy, right?
Yeah, you're right.
In an anime, it would take like 2 episodes, and still Lady Nanase's arc would be finished, right? So a lot of things would just be cut out immediately. It would be so fast.
It could be better.
Yeah,
it could be better.
It would be so, but it's still a problem, right? I don't know. I just don't think it was really well thought. At least this first arc. Maybe in the next one it will be better.
Possibly. But I'm glad you didn't hate it. I'm very curious. I've tried to get other people to read this and get their thoughts. Everyone seems to have the same conclusion of it just drags too much.
Yeah, but I really like the art style and the backgrounds. The backgrounds are beautiful.
Yeah, I like the character art. I like the backgrounds. I like the attention to detail in the little bit of fighting scenes. I do like character expressions. Of course, not barring the Kuro. He's nothing.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yeah. Well, all right. Fun.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to our next manga checkout.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll probably keep reading it, but it will be those kind of manga I've read now. I'll probably come back to it next year when the next arc is finished. And
right? Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I actually, when I was still living in Toronto, I went to the manga and anime shop, and the first volume had just come out, and they had a sale where it was half off, so I got it for like $3 Canadian.
Oof.
And I just kind of read the back, and I go, sure, I'll give it a try. And I'm a sucker for detective stories, and I just, at any time there was a sale, I would just pick up the next volume, right?
Yeah, because no one was
so
buying
I got like
them,
the first,
because
well,
it just drags out.
No, they would do that with all. They I don't know how they'd swing it, but they had a lot of volumes. If you got it within the first week it came out, it was half off.
Oh,
all of them.
Nice.
So that's how I got a big chunk of my manga collection. Was I would just do that. I got a Real account very much the same way. So.
Oh, you have Real account mangas?
I do. I do. That's talking about having twin brothers, am I right? Oh my god. Oh no. Everything comes in. Alright, well, I gotta play this drop. We gotta move on. Otherwise I'm gonna start thinking about Touch again. Well, alright. I'll play this one.
And here's another tasty morsel from the Trash Pandas Watch Anime podcast.
Some fan service.
Yeah. I mean, it worked pretty well in Dragon Ball. Do you remember those scenes with Bulma?
Bulma was running around in a bunny outfit for the longest time.
I know. Akira Toriyama.
We can get the Dragon Balls, and then we can make our wish. Bulma's panties.
Did Oolong wish for Bulma's panties, or did you just wish for a pair of panties?
I think it was just a pair of panties. I'm sure it's different in the Japanese than it is in the English dub. But, yeah, he just wished for panties. They're probably used.
As always, you can find us on Facebook and on Twitter at Trash Panda Anime. You can find us on our website, tpwapodcast.com. You can also find us on assorted sites like SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
All right, Tori, take us through the summer outlook beginnings. 2019 summer. Let's do it.
So you want me to start?
Yes, you start.
Okay.
You start, sir.
Fine. Puts me in the middle. Makes me start. So yeah, it's our summer 2019 outlook. Now that there's a new season that's just started, we thought we'll take a look at, as we always do, we'll take a look at some shows that we're going to be watching and talk a little bit about them. And per usual, I am always going to go with what JD puts last for me as the first one. And we will talk, and I will first talk about, hold on as I get the title because I want to say this because this is my right. I'm going to talk about Tsujo Kogeki ga Sentai Kogeki de Nikai Kogeki no Okaasan wa Suki desu ka? Or just Okaasan Online. This is an isekai. Produced by JC Staff. And the funny thing here is this is about a dude who gets sent to another world with his mother. And his mom is OP. And his mom is hot. That's really all I know. That's really all I care about. And I'm going to watch this show because of that.
Oh boy,
we need
gotta
more.
Gotta have your isekai every season, don't you?
Oh, there's like 5 or 6 isekai this season, so there's a lot. But this one is different because it has a MILF, and I support this trend of MILFs in anime. We need more of that.
So I'm looking at Anime Planet, and it appears that the Anime Planet title is "Do You Love Your Mom?" and her two-hit multi-target attacks ?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
What a bizarre title.
Well, I mean, she has one OP attack that can kill multiple targets with 2 hits. That's basically the story, and she's a MILF.
Yep, that's right.
I see that.
That's
so, the worst part of this is that the guy is just gathering a harem on behalf of his mother. he's just there.
Hickey, you just said the worst part. That sounds like the best part. I don't know what you're talking about.
When your mother tries to rape you at night. It's not
It's
cool.
not my mother. It's fine.
That's one way to look at it. Holy shit. It's not my mother.
It's okay. Like that's how you take these incest stories. It's not my mom.
All right. Next.
Next. All right.
Who is next?
Next. I'll be the next. I'll be talking about Sonan desu ka? Or Are You Lost? Is the Japanese version of Lost, but with moe girls, of course. No. Basically
Oh my god, you're right.
a classroom was going on a school trip when the plane where they were in crashed. And so you have after that, the survivors, or at least what we think they are, which are the girls Homari, Asuka, Mutsu, and Shion. They find themselves in a desert island. But one of the girls, which is, I think it's Asuka, she's actually a specialist in survival. She's a survival specialist because of her father. He was he was trained by the Navy SEAL, something like that. He was the Gogo 13, basically, and because of that, they start surviving in an island. And it's a short. I've read the manga. The manga is extremely fun, and I definitely recommend this one.
Oh no.
Oh yes. No, it is. I watched the first
director
episode.
Also has done Happy Sugar Life and My Girl is Show Bitch.
Yeah. Happy Sugar
He
Life
knows
is
what he's
good.
doing.
Happy Sugar Life is
No,
good, man.
it's not. Stop lying to
Oh, yes,
yourself.
it is. No, it is. This one is good, too. Like, I watched the first episode. This is great. This is Bear Grylls Anime Girls edition. And I love it.
Yeah.
It is goddamn fucking... Here, what we're all fucking dehydrated. Well, you gotta get some water. Well, there's water around us. No, you can't drink that. That's salt water. You can't drink that. Okay, how do we do that? Well, we catch some fish and we crush it and we drink the fucking blood, but you can't drink it directly. So that's why you have to crush it first to get hydrated. No, I can't do that either. All right, fine then. But you really want to drink? You really want liquid? Yes, sure. Okay. Then lay down on your back facing upwards and close your eyes. Sure.
Oh no.
Hold on while I piss on you. Like you can't do that. But she wants to drink. You can't do. Oh, I missed. I love this show.
It is great. I mean, those are all survival tactics. The show is great. Showing they go to extreme lengths. There's some shit they do. You will like it, Tori. I'll definitely say that if you like the first scene, which is very impactful, there's one scene you just love it. But yeah, those are all valid tactical, survival tactics, and they show you. It's fun. It's also very fun.
Yeah, they even eat reindeer nuts. That too.
Well, I mean that's mandatory.
Dude, in Finland, it's a fucking delicacy. They eat that shit.
You gotta eat the nuts.
They eat that shit for fun, not just for survival.
You gotta cup them. Make sure gotta use your fingertips. All that. I don't think we're talking about the same thing anymore.
Me neither.
Okay. I am going to try Astra Lost in Space. It is by Studio Lerche. Summary from Anime Planet. It's the first day of Planet Camp. And Aries Spring couldn't be more excited. Yes, her name is Aries Spring. Sounds like a wrestler's name.
Sure.
She, along with 8 other strangers, leave for planet MCPA, M-C-P-A, for a week-long excursion. Soon after they arrive, however, a mysterious orb appears and transfers them to the depths of space, where they find an empty floating spaceship. So, years ago, I watched a TV show called Stargate Universe. Mm-hmm. And that's the one where a bunch of people within the Stargate universe, they go through a gate and they end up on an empty ship just way out there. It's beyond their fathom of how far out they are, and it's a survival of being on this empty ship, trying to find supplies and everything. So my hope of reading this is it's the anime version of that. Something tells me I won't totally get it.
No way.
It might become one of its tags is comedy, so I'm hoping they won't.
There is comedy.
Yeah. Surviving on an empty spaceship in the middle of space without any supplies. Let's throw in the comedy. I'm hoping they don't overdo that part and they do more of the mature survival aspect. So we'll see if it doesn't pan out. I guess I won't be totally disappointed, but I'm hoping that it's something along the lines of what I got with Stargate Universe. A lot of people didn't like Stargate Universe. I don't know why.
Let me just shatter your dreams already. It is not. Okay. This is comedy. There's a lot of comedy. They take every opportunity to make a joke they can. The first episode is also 47 minutes long.
No way.
Yeah, it's a really long episode. And
You're kidding me.
It takes a while to get anywhere. And they also, after being transported, managed to find out where they are, because one of the guys is an absolute genius. Managed to find out where they are and how to get back. So realistically, everything has really been set up. They just need to make sure that they follow the route that they have already planned out and don't overuse their supplies, and they should be able to get back fine. Now, it says mystery, so I assume something is going to happen. But so far, after one episode, I am not on board with this show.
Yeah, I watched the PV, and I was like, oh, this looks just like Robbie Hachi. No, thanks.
Yeah, I ended up dropping Robi Hachi. Just wasn't in the mood for it anymore. But anyways, I guess I'll find out for myself when I do the summer impressions later. Now Tori's gotten my hopes very much lower going forward.
Fantastic. Great. That's what I do.
Thanks, Tori. Appreciate it.
All right. So up next, we have a show from a certain franchise.
Uh-huh.
And it's called Toaru Kagaku no Accelerator, or A Certain Scientific Accelerator. Yep, that's right. There is another show in the Raildex universe, and now it's about Accelerator. And sadly, unlike what I originally thought it would be, was that we were going to get some of the backstory on Accelerator, because in Railgun we do get some of the backstory on Accelerator, and that could have been interesting. However, that is just not the case. It's set way later. The events of this show are set way later, so that's going to ruin it. It's also by JC Staff, because JC Staff is doing everything this season. And, yeah. Let's see, the synopsis. The Espers of Academy City are classified into 6 levels, where level 0 lacks power, while level 5 possesses an overwhelming amount. Yeah, basically, level 0s, they have no power, and level 5s, they are the most powerful designation of Espers, with everyone trying to achieve level 6, which is theoretically not possible at the moment. Of the several million Espers residing in Academy City, only 7 of them have attained level 5. And ranked highest among them is the one known as Accelerator. Toaru Kagaku no Accelerator focuses on the strongest level 5 after he protects the cheerful Last Order at the price of much of his power, recovering at the hospital. Accelerator has led a relatively quiet life until he ends up saving the life of Estelle Rosenthal, a mysterious girl carrying a photo of Last Order. Unfortunately, Accelerator now finds himself dragged into a new conflict in the form of a sinister organization called Disciplinary Action, which plots to use Last Order for a dangerous mission. Now that they have set their plan into motion and are in pursuit of the young girl, it's up to the world's most powerful Esper and his newfound companion to protect Last Order and defend Academy City in the process. So yeah, Accelerator is in many ways or at least a self-proclaimed villain of the Toaru universe. Right. He's he's very crazy, very power hungry, and but he also has a softer spot. He's kind of, you could call him an anti-hero, kinda, but not really. He's just kind of insane. And he's an angel. Anyways, that's spoiler.
Totally. I was about to make the joke, you ruined it.
Oh, yeah. No, but it is going to be interesting, because Accelerator is one of those characters who, obviously, he is the strongest Esper, as has been stated, and his power is really interesting in the sense that he essentially controls vectors, which means that he can change the direction of and force and everything of anything, pretty much. So his power is very interesting in that regard. The cost of that is that he needs to be able to calculate it, which, is kind of supposed to be his power crutch. Although, granted, as you know with anything, when you put a power crutch in, that only really comes into effect when the author wants it to. So, generally speaking, he has no problems. They're generally geniuses, and he is no exception, although now he also has a calculator, so... But yeah, essentially this is Accelerator's story after he gets got, because he does actually get got, and kind of gets a little bit fucked up and reduce some of his basic bodily functions, but it's fine.
Of course.
He can still work. And yeah. So it's basically the story of him and Last Order. So I don't know what to expect. It could be good. It could be bad. It's probably going to be bad, but hey, I like the Raildex universe. I like the shows. I have a lot of fun watching them, so I'm definitely going to enjoy this one too, probably, most likely.
Fair enough. I never really got into that whole universe. I even tried both series. Just, I don't know. Just didn't do much for me. Some of the characters I liked.
Yeah, characters is not Raildex's strong suit. It has a lot of weak characters.
Yeah.
It's fine. Most of the time you won't even know what's going on the screen, so...
That's just Index. Railgun is a little bit better at condensing information and making sure that you're on top of what's going on. Index is just balls to the wall. Like, now they're fighting, and they're on the team now, and they teamed up, but they're fighting, and now they're fighting. And also, this princess says that this princess is mustering courage up in her soldiers by saying that she's going to get raped, and stuff like that. You know, basic
joy.
Relics is fun.
Yes.
All right, Hickey, you're up, sir.
All right. Are you guys ready for this? The best
Oh,
show
yeah,
of the
I'm ready.
season.
My muscles are ready.
Yeah. Dumbbell nan kilo moteru, or how many kilograms are the dumbbells you lift? Oh, I love this show. I love this manga. I love everything about
titles.
this.
These goddamn titles this season.
That is just a direct translation. You could translate that way better than that.
Well,
how heavy are the dumbbells?
They're really stepping up their game this season with some of these titles.
Yeah, let's go. Sakura Hibiki is your average high school girl with a voracious appetite. Noticing her clothes tightening in lieu of her slowly expanding waistline, she decided to look into enrolling in the nearby gym. There she runs into a girl from her grade named Soryun Akemi. Akemi, who has a muscle fetish, tries to get Hibiki to enroll in the gym despite its high ratio of macho men. Thankfully, a beautiful trainer, Macho.
Macho
I think it's Macho. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Appears and unknowingly convinces her to enroll and start her quest to a great body. Now, I won't lie to you. Sakura Hibiki is just my kind of girl. That's why I like this.
Hickey, are you telling us you also have a muscle fetish?
No. Not before dumbbell. After dumbbell...
Well, I appreciate the honesty.
I am very honest. I'm always very honest. Come on, look at her. She's honestly my type. Like, I don't have any excuse. You also realize a few things about some fetishes you never thought about. You know, like waistlines and abs and armpits and sweat. Regardless, it is a fun anime.
It's awfully specific.
Not only that, but also it makes the fat people activists go nuts on the internet, which is always great. Because
all right, that is a big bonus
because
to the show.
Hibiki is like 164 and she weighs 64 kilograms, so she's not fat, not at all.
Yeah.
The problem is the Japanese, the Japanese standard is just nuts, and you shouldn't follow it for health, health reasons. But regardless, and all people just going mad on the internet because she's not fat. Still, she wants to, she says she's fat and she wants to slim down, which is fine. You do whatever you want.
There's nothing wrong with the ambition to get in shape.
Yes, and this
She
show
just needs to stop eating so much.
This show is great. The manga is great, and the characters are great, especially if you like muscles or want to get into them. Yes.
So, how many kilograms do you lift?
All of them.
Dumbbell-wise, Hickey.
All of them.
When I used to do stuff, exercises, those things.
When I used to do the exercises, yes.
When I went to the fucking muscle gym.
Yeah. I would say...
Yeah, that's what they're called.
I was like 20.
Yeah.
It's fine. I
gotta
never aim to be buffed. I have buffed legs. I could do 300 kilograms in a leg press. It wasn't that difficult.
Now that's impressive.
Yeah, but upper body. I like my lazy guy belly.
My shoulders are definitely the weakest part of mine.
I'm just picturing this image they did in the show in the first episode of this dude who they showed a guy who's done nothing, who's only trained upper body, so he's really buff and his legs are skinny as shit. I'm picturing that with Hickey, except the other way around.
Oh,
giant fucking thighs and fucking stickman upper body.
Oh yeah, it is definitely. Have you seen that episode of SpongeBob where he shows his legs and they're all defined and muscled. It is basically like
sadly.
that. I have a lot of pride in my leg muscles. Regardless, yeah, it is a very fun anime. Very fun, very fun, very fun.
I look forward to your impressions. Over,
you're gonna get my impressions
over it. It's whew. I want to hear the what's the word? I want to hear how you progress in your discovery of these new fetishes.
What do you mean? I already did that. I've read the whole fucking manga.
No, with the anime.
I mean,
I want details.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah. Okay. My second one, the second anime of the summer I'm going to give a try is another one. It's an investigative anime, and with a crazy title. So we're going with the theme of this podcast episode. It's called Lord el-molloi Seconds. Yeah, Case Files, Rail Zeppelin, Grace Note.
Before you get into it, I just wonder why did you pick this show?
Because it's investigative and it has something to do with Fate Zero.
It does indeed have something to do with Fate Zero. That was what I was curious about. If you knew that or not.
So Waver Velvet, the boy, another winner of a name, the boy who fought side by side with the King of Conquerors Iskander. So there's a name we're all familiar with. Mm-hmm. The last time I fell for that name, I ended up with Robihachi. During the Fourth Holy Grail War in Fate Zero. Time has passed, so it's post that. The mature Waver has now adopted the name of Lord el-molloi, which I will never get used to saying. As Lord el-molloi II, he challenges numerous magical and mystical cases in the Clock Tower, the Mecca of all mages. ... So I guess investigative magician battle stuff after the Fourth Holy Grail War. There you go.
Yeah, kind of a ways after. Waver is obviously the guy who from Fate Zero who had the Rider subclass, and he is now an adult. So yeah, that's the connection. I'm kind of looking forward to this. I watched the there's a prequel episode, like a special episode that was released like a year ago.
Is there?
Yes, it's the introduction to the whole thing. So
is it available on Crunchyroll?
It is not available on Crunchyroll, but it is available for me on Wakanim. Well, actually, no, if it's available on Wakanim, it is not available on Crunchyroll. So never mind. It sucks for you.
It does suck. I guess I will be the pirate that I need to be.
Yep.
Yeah, it's by Studio Troika. Who's the director behind this shit? It is Makoto Kato. Not familiar.
Yeah.
He has done Bloom Into You and Beautiful Bones. Oh, okay. I like Beautiful Bones. Another investigative anime. So he's got experience with such a thing. So okay, I'm a little bit more optimistic than I was. So we'll see.
It based on what I've seen so far, it looks interesting. It's not. I wouldn't exactly say it's not my kind of investigation. It's kind of just stuff happens, and then eventually it's like, wait, my life is in danger. At least that was what the first episode was. I was like, wait a minute, somebody's put a curse on me. I have to find this motherfucker before I die.
Well, that's true.
It's like, yeah, it was like, how do we find him? Well, that's easy. Because of the spell he used, I am now connected to him. So if we just follow the magical trace, we'll find him. Like,
makes sense. As long as it makes sense, I'm okay with it.
Sure. I mean, in as many ways as magic makes sense.
I mean, if I walk into how many dumbbells you lift, and they're lifting 100-pound dumbbells, and they've never worked out before, then we got a problem here.
Oh, no, they're buff as shit.
They're buff as shit immediately. No questions asked. All right, Tori, what's your last one?
All right, so my last one is one that I am sure that literally no one has ever heard of, and definitely nobody is excited about at all.
Right, and no one's even covered this on a past manga checkout.
That's definitely right. Never been talked about before.
Definitely
Completely underground. And that is the Wit Studio show. That's right, not JC staff this time.
Oh my god. Take it back.
And it's called Vinland Saga. Now, obviously, I had to cover Vinland Saga because, I mean, it's about Vikings from Scandinavia. And although they're not from Norway, because for whatever reason Norway is absolutely shafted in Vinland Saga.
No, you got to be from Denmark, of course.
Yeah, it's close enough. There was a Norwegian slave in the manga in the first volume, so
it's true. Speaking of which, I hung out with a bunch of Scandinavians on Independence Day. That was weird.
Sure.
Yeah, I was invited over to one of my friends that I bowl with. He goes, "Yeah," and then when I get there, everyone's from Iceland except him. There's Icelandic being spoken the whole time, so I really got into a big Viking mood. They brought over this is obviously a side tangent, but they brought up over this liquor that's almost like Jägermeister, but it's called Opal. You know, like the mineral.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "This is good shit from Iceland." I was like, okay, let's do it, guys.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And naturally, they were all like 6'4".
That's
2 meters tall, minimum.
Man, they're taller than me. I'm still only 6'2". Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's but yeah. Now so obviously Vikings. I need to watch this. I've read the first volume of the manga. I have the first 2 volumes. I still need to read the second one. Just never got that far. Manga's okay. Anyways, the synopsis: for 1,000 years, the Vikings have made.
Take that back. The manga's awesome.
For 1,000 years, the Vikings have made quite a name and reputation for themselves as the strongest families with a thirst for violence. Thorfinn, the son of one of the Vikings' greatest warriors, spends his boyhood in the battlefield, enhancing his skills in his adventure to redeem his most desired revenge after his father was murdered. So, yeah, revenge.
Bummer.
Obviously, revenge story. I am worried about one thing. And that's not
okay.
That's not just the safety.
Does it have anything to do with Wit Studio?
That does not have anything to do with Wit Studio. I am obviously worried for the safety of these animators, but that's just in general. That's in general when it comes to Wit Studio. But what I am worried about is because of the nature of the manga. The manga is very
censorship.
No, the manga is very methodical. Very, I would call it kind of slow. It goes into a lot of great detail, especially early on. Like I said, I haven't read past Volume 1, so I can't speak for what happens later. But Volume 1 takes quite a while. And what I'm afraid... Now, this is going to be 24 episodes, but what I'm kind of afraid of is where they're going to go.
Well, this is Wit Studio. They could just decide halfway they're just going to come out with 12.
I'm sure, but even still. I don't think they'll do that. Especially because of the fact that they've been bragging so much of how far ahead of schedule they are for once in their goddamn life. So yeah, no, but I'm just kind of worried about like where a natural stopping point for them would be. Like, because for fuck's sake, like with the way the manga is constructed, you could make a 12-episode series out of Volume 1 alone if you want to.
I hope they do that, actually.
I kind of don't.
I hope they do. Hickey, what's your feelings on this?
I mean, I know of one good stopping point. That would be where we stopped. But
after the second volume?
Yeah, right when the Roman guy appears.
Yes, that would be a good one. So you think 12 episodes... Are you with me with 12 episodes per volume?
I think so. I mean, although it's very minimalistic, I don't think they need to follow the manga page, panel for panel, you know.
And it's probably going to do that.
Yeah, it's still Wit Studio. I don't think they use the whip in this one. So, you know.
They always use the whip, Hickey. What are you talking about?
You know what? They said they were ahead of schedule, so they probably used
the whip for. They just use the whip for fun. It's like there's no punishment today, but I need to keep my whip arm in practice. So get over here.
Oh boy.
Let's see. The director is Shuei Yabuta, who was directed Inuyashiki. Oh god.
So CG.
Ooh. Oh yeah, no, I saw that in the PV. There is a lot of CG in.
Oh no,
in
the
Vinland
CG
Saga.
armies. Oh no.
Yeah, that is definitely one thing. I am not looking forward to a lot of the camera movement because they use a lot of 3D camera movement, and in order to make the characters stay on model, they use 3D to the 3D character designs and like draw over them to keep the characters on model. And they do that in the PV during a lot of the fights and whatnot. And it makes it look very jarring because it pops from 2D to 3D and back to 2D all the time. So I'm not looking forward to that. I hope they don't do that too much. But yeah, knowing that the director did Inuyashiki, my hopes just sank into the fucking ground.
I don't know. I'm looking at Anime Planet. It says he's done nothing. So this is his first one. So get into that mindset instead.
Yeah, but that's just not true.
I'm very much looking forward to Vinland Saga. I'm hyped up for it. It's definitely my number one anime of the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. I cannot wait to start the season first. Then
Yeah, I gotta finish up some shows from the spring still myself.
I'm the only one who started a new season, man, and I was a week behind.
I still have 16 episodes to watch.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'll probably do what JD does.
Tori, you'll join Hickey and I in the real working world soon enough.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I'll just put in fast forward and watch it 4 times
Everything
the
on 4 times speed. Yeah.
I mean, it's just One Punch Man and Fruits Basket. There's really nothing to pay attention to.
Fruits Basket is gonna be annoying for you to watch, especially if you watch multiple episodes at once.
Oh yeah,
it is not a bingeable show at all.
Yeah, no. Main character voice as well. She's just like, Anyway, talking about unwatchable shows.
Oh no,
it's not about this one. It's about the studio.
Except it is.
Okay, this is their chance of redeeming themselves, although it is very, very difficult. The third show I chose is
this studio.
Copcraft. Why did I choose Copcraft? One, it is a detective story. Cop buddies. It is it's a modern fantasy, or urban fantasy. So it's fantasy world, but it passes on a city, which is a very interesting scenario. And the character designs are made by Renji Murata. And this is his style of character designs. It's not like Ben, where in this season is also using his design, but it's not his design. He just drew the characters, but don't look like his design. The problem is, this is a Milpens anime,
which means it's going to be the best because they've done TQ.
The problem is they've done
Tori, back me up on this fact, right?
And they did
but still
they did a very infamous show that for some reason has a 7 on my anime list, and the first one has a 6.65.
Wake Up Girls, right?
They were co-producing Berserk and Berserk's second season. They also did TQ, which is not a good thing.
TQ is the best thing. You shut your mouth.
And they did
it is the best thing they've ever done, and you cannot even argue that.
It's the Wake Up Girls' first movie.
No, fuck you.
So what is this show even about?
Oh my god, this studio. Anyway, the synopsis on my anime list says 15 years ago, an unknown hyperspace gate opened over the Pacific. Beyond this gate lies Retrocast, a strange alternative world where fairies and monsters live. Santa Teresa City, a city where over 2 million immigrants live from both worlds. Alright, period. I don't know why there's a period there. As a result,
Because you're reading up my anime list summary. You gotta go to Anime Planet.
as a result,
I don't know. Anime Planet summaries have been kind of bad so far this episode.
yeah. As a result, there are the haves and the have-nots. Oh my god. Here is the world's newest city of dreams. But in the shadow of chaos... but what?
Anyone else getting Kekai Sensen vibes from this?
Yes.
I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole because there's a goddamn lolly on the key art.
But it's
Yeah,
Range Murata.
I'm with you,
What do
Tori.
mean?
I don't give a shit.
It's a Range
Them
Murata
as Range
lolly.
Murata. Fuck you. It's gonna be better.
Anyway, but in the shadow lies the chaos, the crime, and rampage, drugs, prostitution, and weapon trafficking. The detectives who stand up to these heinous crimes are in Santa Teresa City Police. When the detective Kei Matoba and the alternate world knight Tirana, two individuals who differ in gender, personality, and even world of origin, meet, an incident erupts towards true justice. From this, the curtain rises on a buddy police action story. Yeah,
Oh, God.
look, I think it will be a fun thing, and I hope it. Honestly, I'm watching it because of Range Murata and because of the studio. I hope this is their chance of redeeming themselves, as long as they don't touch CG. We're fine.
Won't touch this show. I will not do it.
Wow. I'll
gotta be
probably
bad.
be one of the 100 people watching this.
You know what would have made me touch this show? If instead of a lolly, it would have been a MILF.
You know, it will be the second show of this season with a MILF in an alternative world.
Nah.
Alright.
There's probably a MILF
All right.
somewhere there. It's a police story.
My last one. Tokyo is burning, and citizens are mysteriously suffering from spontaneous human combustion throughout the city. Responsible for snuffing out this inferno is the Fire Force, our title for the anime. And Shinra is ready to join their fight. Now, as part of Company 8, he'll use his devil's footprint to help keep the city from turning to ash. But his past and a burning secret behind the scenes could set everything ablaze. David Production, they have a good history of making things.
They have a good history of making JoJo's.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. At the very least, it should look good. Character art is right up there. This director is known for Kubikiri Cycle, which I was a big fan of. That was an OVA detective story. And then the other things I have not seen before. So, such a shame on that.
Yuki.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at him. Yeah,
I watched the.
you're gonna go first.
Okay, I watched the first episode of this show already, and yeah, dude, the anime, god damn it, the animation, the way they animate those fires, it looks so good. That looks so good. And
I'm excited.
The goddamn every time something happens, whenever fucking the devil footprint when he fucking blasts off the goddamn impact frames. There's like so many impact frames. I love it.
Yeah. My notes next to this one was Human Torch the anime.
Oh yeah. No, he just fucking literally like lights a fucking giant fire. It looks like a goddamn jet engine behind him, and he just sprints off and fucking goes. The only thing that kind of upsets me, I say upsets me. I'm not upset, but the other thing that was a little bit. Everyone was talking about how hyped they were and how hyped that first episode was, and then I watch it, and generally speaking, it's nothing but a setup episode. You learn a little bit about the main character and why he wants to join this fire force, and at the end, you also get to meet the other characters, and at the end, they take out a spirit. And I'm kind of like, at the start, there was one cool little scene where you get to see the first introduction to the fire force, and at the end, they got that little cool fight that was ended in a single fight. But generally, the show was kind of just okay. Like, again, it's a setup episode, so it's fine. I'm not judging it too hard on this. I will judge it very hard if it fails to actually do something with this setup. But as long as they do something with it, it's fine. So yeah. So
I'm looking forward to it then.
I mean,
It's my number 3 ranked show of the season for me. Behind Vinland Saga, and of course, where would we be without mentioning these 3 other shows? Won't go into too much detail. One is Dr. Stone. The time has come, Hickey.
Yes, finally. But I'm not.
Finally.
I'm not really looking forward for the anime adaptation. I think I said that when we reviewed the manga.
My fears came true with that one because I was like, I wonder what's going to happen to Boichi's designs in this anime. And the answer to that is they're gonna get fucking they
diluted.
It doesn't work for an anime. You can't. His designs are not made to be animated. It's
all right.
Well, and his female characters look absolutely terrible. Ugh.
Anyways, Dan-machi season 2 is finally here.
It is soon.
Yeah, a very fun show.
It is.
Fun fact: for some reason, the Brazilian Netflix got a fucking Dan-machi movie.
Yep.
So I guess I'll pay Netflix before watching Dan-machi the second season, so I can watch one movie and then never pay it again. Well, right. I mean, if I pay it, I might as well just watch Seven Seeds and a few other anime there. Also, about Fire Force, a few years ago, I tried to read the manga, but I couldn't because I thought it was extremely dumb. But I've watched the PVs and they look so good. So I might watch the show even though I think it's very dumb. Yeah.
And then, speaking of Netflix, on July 19th, later this month, Saint Seiya is returning.
I'm not watching that shit. Get that. I'm not watching it. I'm still salty.
Tell me how you really feel, Hickey.
Yeah, no thanks. You want to talk about all the isekais that are coming out this season?
No, I'd rather
There's
not.
like 6 isekais coming out.
The Ni no Kuni movie's coming out.
Oh yeah, that is true.
It is.
Yeah. There's a Dragon Quest movie as well. That looks pretty wild. It looks CG as fuck.
Welcome to game movies.
Yeah. And then there's something called Hello World.
Yes.
There's a new Neptunia OVA coming out.
And nobody cares.
Oh, well, come on. I care about it.
Okay, nobody cares, just as I said.
There's a Konosubarashi Seikai ne Shufuku wo movie coming out. Konosuba movie.
Yeah.
Konosuba movie.
Weathering with You is coming out, so a lot of good movies coming out this summer. So keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. Remember them in 6 months when you can finally watch them.
Yeah, right, exactly. Write them down, and then when they come out on torrent sites, go get it.
Or a Blu-ray. Sometimes they get released.
Or well, sometimes.
Or just travel to Japan and watch the fucking movie there. I don't know.
In Japanese, yes. Of course.
Yeah, please. You're a filthy weeb. You understand what is going on the fucking screen.
Shut up. I know you're not wrong, but shut up.
All right, so I think we're all hyped for Vinland Saga. What's our number 2 and 3 that we're hyped up for the season?
Dumbbell. Easily.
Dumbbell. Number 2. Okay, sorry. For me, it's Vinland Saga, and then it's the fucking what's it called? Are You Lost? And then Dumbbell.
Okay.
No, hold on. Let's if we're gonna do that, please let's do something properly. Also, I want to mention Grunbaum, that people were talking online, and the first episode apparently was really interesting. But it's made by Nexus, and Nexus makes phone games, so we know where this is going. Also, there's some German shit in this show, so we also know where this is going.
There's some German shit.
Let's see.
Where would we be without a Nazi reference on this cast?
Hey, what are you Are you saying all Germans are Nazis? Wow.
Yes, Tori, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say, alright, so top 3, Vinland Saga, Output Oreo lost because it's fun, and then Fire Force because it's David Productions with a lot of money behind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Vinland Saga, Dr. Stone, Fire Force for me.
Wow, look at the shonen guy.
Yeah, well, what do you expect from me? What do you expect out of me? Come on.
Nothing.
All right. Summer's looking more promising than spring, that's for sure.
I mean,
you say that.
I say that now.
Disagree.
I don't know, because like everything is just becoming this gray blob. So doesn't really
becoming
matter
isekai.
when you put in perspective, like, oh, it looks better than the last season, but when we go, into it will just be a bunch of shows that doesn't matter if we watch or not. We just watch it because there's no enough reason to drop it. Like every single fucking... I'm having a nihilistic crisis right now. We can move on if you want to.
Okay, all right. I'll play the drop and we can move on to feeling sad and
talking about
emotional.
Nihilism.
Hey dude, you into anime, manga, and all that radical stuff? Then you should totally check out the Anime Radicals Network at www.animeradicals.com. If you want discussions, debates, reviews, and all in between, we also got timely reviews, revolutions, mecha, and much more. Find it on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all podcast catchers. The Anime Radicals Network. The revolution will be simulcast.
Now, it's time we start dealing with the business at hand.
Okay. Oh, the time has come.
The time has come.
We're reviewing the anime Touch. Arc 1, episodes 1 through 26. Studio is Group TAC. They've done lots of Yamato. A couple other studios also involved in the making of this. Director is Hiroko Tokita. He did Aqua Age, some 47 episode anime from 1996. Not much else other than that. Touch was released in the spring of 1985. The show spans a total of 101 episodes, based from a 26-volume manga. So they definitely gave the show enough episodes to cover the source material. Summary from Anime Planet. Twins, Kazuya and Tatsuya, and their neighbor Minami have played together since they were children and built an unbreakable bond. But with puberty, the twins realize something. Minami is a girl, and 3 is a crowd. As the trio tries to preserve their relationship, Kazuya's pledge to make Minami's dream come true by taking her to Koshin with his pitching skills makes the slackerish Tatsuya wonder about himself and his own goals. But Minami has another dream she wants fulfilled, and as the twins continue to push themselves, with Minami in the middle, a life-changing tragedy leads one twin down a path he once never would have considered. Alright. So, for those that don't know, Koshin is the big high school baseball tournament that schools participate in. It's a knockout tournament, so you lose once, your season's over. And Kazuya is the star pitcher of the high school baseball team. Tatsuya character is a slacker and jokester. He's always compared throughout the anime to Kazuya. All the girls love Kazuya and don't love him, but luckily Minami, a childhood friend, grew up next door to them. They're all very close, and she has a secret of her own. She wants Kazuya to reach his own goals and tries to motivate Tatsuya throughout the anime. There's a little background there. So, what did everybody think of the first arc, or how the show started? We can start with that. The first few episodes, at the very least.
Yeah, okay. So, going into the show, before we started the show, I started watching Mix from this season, last season started, which is by the show by the same author, and it's essentially a sequel-ish. It's a new show that takes place in the future, after the events of Touch. So, a lot of similarities, a lot of the same stuff, but a new show, and I enjoyed that a lot. So, going in, I was excited to see how how that was going to be in Touch. If we were going to get a lot of this like same feelings, a lot of these same tones and emotions from the show, and yeah, I've got to say one of the things that they do really well is that because the show has kind of a kind of an awkward tone for a lot of it, I would describe it as, and that really comes across really well. I watched a lot of shows that tries to play the awkward angle of situations, and generally speaking, it becomes too awkward. But I feel like in Touch, they managed to go like have a nice find a nice middle ground. Because obviously it is a little bit of an awkward situation. Two people who like the same girl, brothers who like the same girl, kind of, in Tatsuya's case, he is also constantly being compared to his brother, or rather, comparing himself to his brother as well, because his brother is so much better than him in everything, even though, as children, it was technically the opposite, because Tatsuya was the one who was, like, naturally gifted, and Kazuya had to work, and, Tatsuya never did. So now their roles are kind of reversed. So there's a lot
he never
of...
felt the need to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, he was a natural. So, obviously, as is the case when not every natural, but a lot of them, you feel like you don't really need to. I can relate to that. When I was a child, I was really good at throwing stuff. I was better than everyone in my class at throwing things. I won every throwing competition. And I was just like, I'm the best at this. I don't even need to train. And then as the years went by, all of a sudden I was the worst. It's like,
and that's what happens, right?
Yeah, because you don't do anything with it. You don't get it. Everyone else gets better. I didn't get any better.
Well, that's one thing the show does incredibly well. It's so relatable.
Oh yeah. It's really down to earth. And I love that. I love that feeling. So that's something that Touch keeps really really well. It's really well grounded, and it's a slow kind of, you could call it like a slow kind of teen drama. And I think the best way, it obviously says sports in the genres, but I think the best way that somebody's ever described it is this is a teen drama story where with baseball and Koshi, or related to baseball and Koshien rather than a sports anime, because there's not that much baseball in it, all things considered. Which kind of took me by surprise, because I knew it was a baseball anime, so I was expecting, typical sports anime, lots of focus on the sport and trying to get better and all that. But it took a while before it took a while before they even played.
Yeah, definitely. It is definitely a very captivating show. From the first episode, you just get sucked in.
What this show does, another thing what Touch does extremely well is, you said it, Tori, it's very down to earth. And what it does is, when there's situations brought up between these three characters, Minami, Tatsuya, and Kazuya, they'll be put in the situations, and they feel like real humans. They feel like real reactions someone would have, right? For example, there's something earlier in the show. They have a so Minami lives next door, and Tatsuya and Katsuya, are the neighbors, and they all grew up together, and they're all the same age. And the two parents of the families built this like study or playhouse in the middle. They like tore their fence down. They built this little house, and it eventually became their study house. Mm-hmm. And so Tatsuya was taking a nap under the desk in there, and Minami, I guess, just brought a swimsuit, and she goes in there to change, and she doesn't realize Tatsuya is under the desk, and he can see her everything. So Tatsuya, and the show does a phenomenal job of show don't tell. So you, the viewer, are going, there's a part of you that going, Tatsuya, don't say anything. You want to see you want to see the love of your life, or you don't even realize it yet, naked. And Tatsuya sees it, and he doesn't say anything at first, right? Mm-hmm. And then just before she's about to really take her clothes off, he kind of coughs, and he goes, he lets her know that he's there. And then she gets mad at him, of course, as a woman would. And then his response, and this is the good writing the show has. His response is, I could have not said anything at all, right?
Yeah.
And then he just kind of leaves. And she...
On the outside, he jokes as well. When he gets out, it's like, damn, shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, man, I shouldn't have said anything. Damn it.
Yeah. No, but definitely. Like, the chemistry between the main three characters it's fantastic. The banter they have between each other, just kind of like light poking fun at each other because they've known each other their entire lives, stuff like that. I love that. Right? It's something that you don't see. Like, I say don't see. It's something that a lot of shows fail to do, right? It's like, you can think of a lot of shows where it's like, characters who've been friends for years, and they're nice to each other and they get along, right? But it's generally that they're nice to each other and get along. Tatsuya, Minami, and Kazuya aren't necessarily always nice to each other, but they're not mean to each other, but they're friendly.
Right?
They've known each other for a long time. They know that they can poke fun at each other.
Yeah, and you can tell they deeply care about each other. Tatsuya's personality is, because he's always compared, he has this kind of complex about him that Kazuya, since everyone loves Kazuya and has such high expectations for him, no one has expectations at all for Tatsuya. So when issues arise for Tatsuya, such as, let's just say, because they both like the same girl and they realize that, he can't fathom that he could possibly win the relationship battle, right?
Uh-huh.
So he kind of, this complex eats at him. And you can tell, because the show does such a good job with showing his actions and just his phrases that he uses. He always puts his technically younger brother first before himself, because he likes Minami and is convinced that her life would be better with Kazuya, his own brother. And he just can't accept it, right? And there is a moment nearing the end of the first arc here where he tells her, he goes, I gotta figure my own shit out, right? I'm not sure what I'm going through. Like a teenager going through puberty would. You don't know everything right away.
Uh-huh.
And just watching so much anime or just TV dramas in general, you don't get lines like that. You would get a comic relief moment, like where the dog would hit him in the balls or something in front of her, or he would say something just beyond stupid. But instead, he picks up the baseball bat, he's taking a couple swings, and he goes, you know what? I get it. I accept what you're telling me, but I need to figure my own demons out first, because he's aware of his own faults.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And the show's just filled with scenes like that.
Yep.
And even the side characters, they have their own role as well. There is a very large delinquent-looking guy named Harada in the show, and he more or less befriends Tatsuya. And Harada's entire role is he's actually this very mature guy, and anytime something happens with Tatsuya, he just kind of goes, I see. You don't realize what you're saying, Tatsuya? Yeah, Naruhodo. Yeah, all the time.
It's great. He does have one problem, though. He definitely does need to get his appendix checked. Like, better, because that shit.
He's always, get that shit removed, man.
Yeah. No,
He's always going to the hospital.
I love that, because one of the first things he does, one of the first, scenes with him and Tatsuya is, he sends Tatsuya to take care of some delinquents for him, or he sends him in advance saying that he will show up, right? It's just and he never shows up, and stuff like that. And you've also known that he's been skipping school a lot because of his appendix, right? He even admits it's it's just an excuse. I do to skip school. But in this situation, with the bullies, he never shows up. And Tatsuya gets pissed at him because, fucking, he gets saved by the baseball team. It's he never even shows up. The bastard. It turns out that actually, the reason why they even found out about him was because he told his brother where he was. And where was Arada? He was in the hospital getting his appendix checked.
Yeah.
I love that as well. How he just fucking later as well, how he just casually calls for an ambulance.
Yeah, it's like,
sorry, I'm bleeding. Gotta go.
Yeah, my surgery score reopened because of the fight, so I'll be going back to the hospital now. I was like, oh, so he actually had a problem with his and he's an interesting character. Like at the beginning, he's just a douche.
Oh yeah.
But like after a while, like JD were talking about Tatsuya inferiority complex.
Mm-hmm.
And he has another complex. He kind of has a brother complex. He's a brocom. Because every single time someone refers to Tatsuya in the show, they say the wrong brother, the worst brother, the fake Kazuya, you know. So he has, in his mind, it's not only that he's inferior, he's the fake one. But so every time
that would get to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, a constant comparison.
But like not only that,
always being worse.
When he has problems, even the family doesn't give a shit about him. So when he has a problem, he needs to deal with the problem alone. But his brother Kazuya is always there to help him. That's why, like, you know, no one helps me except my brother, so I need to repay him, with some kind of reward. And that's when Harada start, becoming a proper character and say, look, you don't need to do that. You need to be you. If you need to fight your brother, you will fight your brother. And I'll make sure you fight your brother because you need, to be, you need to understand your situation. You need to understand what's going on and you need to fight. The end. And that's when Harada, start becoming a nice character. When they go, for example, to the boxing club.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to bring up the boxing club. That was a big life-changing moment for Tatsuya, and he didn't even realize it, right? Harada making him show up there. You have no excuses. You got to join a club some way. Join the boxing club. And there was that moment where Tatsuya is recruited by one of the managers
for the baseball club.
For the baseball club. And he was about to join it, but as soon as he hears Manami is going to be another manager, he's like, well, now I'm just going to get in the way kind of deal. And do you think that was the right choice for Tatsuya?
As for where he is right now, yes, absolutely. I don't think because obviously, apart from the jokes that he's way out of shape and can't do anything without breaking his back, it's
funny.
Yeah, it's obviously he's not
15 years old, back problems. Yeah. Awesome.
He's not in a position where he would have been able to stay or get anything achieved in the baseball club now, because obviously nothing would have changed. Everything would have been the same. He would have been the fake brother, the worst brother, the one who couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
in everyone's
and
eyes.
I don't blame his choice there at all. So him joining the boxing club, that was a great life decision. You start sticking up for yourself, and he somehow develops this kind of, he uses his own stubbornness in the matters to try to better himself. He still tries to skip every now and again. There's still part of that personality, and there's Harada just being like, yeah, you're not going anywhere, buddy.
Yeah. Also, I love this part about the boxing club as well, because when Tatsuya first joins, he obviously gets beat the fuck up. But this isn't because he's not good at boxing, but it's not because he is bad. Like, he's got a good eye. That's not natural, athletic talent again. He's got a good eye. He sees a lot. He's able to get away from a lot of punches. He's able to get away from it. But one of the things that Harada especially points out is he doesn't fight back. Why don't you fight back? Why don't you do anything? You're just dodging, and eventually you're getting beat up because you're just, again, trying to avoid getting hit. You're kind of just, you're doing nothing but running away. And this is one of the things he says specifically is you need to learn to punch back. Like, you
need to learn to fight for yourself. Yeah. Stop letting someone win over you without even trying.
Yep.
Right. It's a very good analogy to what he's going through, even with the love triangle. Right.
And it's so casually implemented into the series that, like, you could completely miss that, not even think about it. And I love that. And there's a lot of stuff in this show that's just it's so effortlessly just placed in there. It's normal. This should be there. Of course it's there. Of course he joined the boxing club in a baseball anime. That makes total sense.
Right? I think I wish, because there was that little arc where he had his first match, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought it was going to expand from there with him boxing, right? He was going to become a boxer while his brother became the baseball player, right?
Mm-hmm.
But once he has that first match, and he really wanted to win, Minami wanted him to win, wanted him to go out and try. And he goes, all right, I'll go out and try my hardest. And he lost because Minami gave him expectations, and no one was giving him expectations. His own family didn't give a shit he was boxing.
Yep.
So when he lost, he was devastated, and because he let the only person that was rooting for him down. Kazuya to an extent, but he was kind of off doing his own baseball thing, which is fair enough, right?
I mean, yeah, Tatsuya didn't even tell him that it was on the boxing match was on the same day because he didn't want him to even think about it.
He didn't want to throw off his game,
yeah.
Which is, again, looking out for his brother. And then there's the moment that I've seen some backlash online about, and that is the slap scene.
The one with Minami?
Yeah.
Why? Because he hit a woman.
Because he hit a woman.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. She was being a dick.
Yeah. It's like
half of the show needs to be beat up. By the way, everyone acts like a dick.
They do, but I love that. No, but it is understandable, right? Because it's like I understand Minami, right? Oh, you say you need the money for a notebook. Well, here's a notebook. I have one. I don't need these. I'm not going to use them. But that was a gift given to you and Kazuya for best couple. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I say you can use them. No, I can't. Kazuya can't use them. It's not for him. It's for you guys. It's for Minami and Kazuya. He doesn't want
the hand me down either, or the charity and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what makes him slap. That's what made him slap her. What made him slap her was because she teased him and said, it's because you're jealous because you're also in love with me? Which he makes him realize that, yeah.
It's like, damn right I am. See, I think the whole thing would have been, now they didn't show him slapping her, but I wish they would have shown him just slapping the piss out of the books out of her hand, like against the wall real hard, and she's kind of in shock. I think that would have had the same effect. He didn't need to actually hit her, right?
Sure, but I don't think it matters. It's fine. Like, again, there's this non-tolerant. This is why we have the fucking cutaway from something like this, because you can't show it, man. It's dangerous. It sets a bad precedent. Sometimes, like, I'm not for hitting anyone. I don't care if they're a man or a woman, but sometimes it's necessary. Is it an overreaction? Yes, of course it is. But that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, that's the point of the scene.
It's because he gets confronted with something that he has tried to deny. He gets confronted with the truth.
Oh yeah,
right. So he gets scared.
Well, and it does lead to a lot of development between the characters and story. So it does serve its purpose quite well. I'm just saying. I think it could have been executed in the way I described and been just as effective.
I don't think so. I think it is important.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I think it's important, especially when the scene took place where he had his first mock-up match. Where Harada was there saying, imagine it's your brother there, and you're hitting your brother. It is the first time he was learning how to fight back. He was practicing boxing, and he was learning to think for himself, be selfish, right?
Right.
You need to be selfish from time to time, or you're going to die. It is simple. We need to think as individuals. We need to think about our well-being as well. And then at that scene, it's not only about, realizing he likes Minami and he's jealous of Kazuya, but it's also he's being confronted to every single truth he's running away from. The fact he likes Minami, the fact Kazuya likes Minami, the fact Kazuya and Minami might make a more, most beautiful.
A better couple.
Yeah, a better couple.
Yeah.
The fact that Kazuya took the notebooks and, put in a secure place, and he will never use it, while Minami is just saying it doesn't have any kind of sentimental price to me, and his brother is still very precious to him. So it's a lot of things. It's not only, I think it's not much. Of course, you have the jealousy, but I think it's more about the emotional value of the notebooks that Kazuya put in, and you see Minami just throwing them away. Let's put it like that.
What it also gives the viewer an answer to certain questions.
Yeah.
Like, who does Minami like? And there's a really cool sequence of events happening when Minami leaves her diary in the study house, and Tatsuya's there, and he's staring at it. He goes, "Does she like me? I could just read the diary and get my answer." He's just sitting there, cross-legged Indian style. Minami comes in, and he's just sitting there, and he's looking at it. He goes, "You left your diary here."
Yeah.
And she's, of course, pissed off. "You read it." And he's like, "Well, no. I wanted to."
Yeah.
And then it cuts to her in a dark room.
Yeah,
staring at it.
She's got a little bit of PTSD because of that.
With the hentai episode, yeah. I just love her face in that scene. Just like, it looks like something really, really bad happened. It's so great.
He read it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
he's
read it. There's no way he didn't
hentai.
read it.
Yeah.
Just like in the darkness, just staring without blinking to the book.
It's like, what have I done?
But I love the way that she confirms that he hasn't read it, because what she does, she calls him out for lunch, or at lunch, up to the roof, kind of stereotypical confession scene, and confesses her feelings to him. And Tatsuya just drops his lunch, and he's like,
It's like, what?
That confirms to her that he has in fact not read it, because if he knew, he wouldn't have reacted like this.
Right, he wouldn't be shocked. So she's like, "Okay, they got my answer. I'm out." And then Tatsuya's reaction is, "What? Oh shit, my lunch!"
You wasted my lunch.
There is some good, very good comical moments within the show. It does cut to the dog every once in a while, like also in love with Minami's, or no, just another neighbor's dog. I don't think it's Minami's dog.
No, it's not. It's
just another neighbor. Yeah,
Bunchy.
There's also a good realization, funny moment. There's always the saying that a female always looks for a partner that is very similar to their own father, right? And so it's Minami's father. Tatsuya is working part-time with Minami's father in the cafe, and they're just kind of having a talk-to-talk, heart-to-heart with each other, and he's reminiscing on how he was competing with a dude for his future wife, and the dude was way better than him in everything, but for some reason she went to him, and then he's on his pipe leaning over the counter, and he goes, "And Minami wouldn't do the same thing. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Could it be?" And he's looking at Tatsuya. No, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I love that, because he does also help Tatsuya a little bit in that regard, because he does say that, he does kind of reaffirm what, Harada has been doing as well. The whole, you have to, you never know until the end, right? But you have to go for it. If you don't go for it, nothing's going to happen. But you have to go for it. If you go for it, you don't know what's going to happen. But I also love, and it's not even that, I love the scene where he does the same thing, because he also questions, Tatsuya's parents about that as well. Puts the idea out there. Could it be that Minami is looking for a man much like her father instead? And the two others are like, no. There's no way.
Yeah, because it always falls back on Tatsuya. The more fun-loving, the more caring. He's not great at everything, but he cares more, right?
Yeah.
It's quite endearing. And we learn more about Kazuya in other ways, with his life goals and how much Minami gives him expectation. Like, she is his entire motivation. And there's a big scene where in the room she has written "Go to Koshin," right? from Minami, and it's one of Kazuya's big things. And there's a whole scene where she takes it back from the wall, and he just freaks out. He's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, because she thinks she's putting pressure on him.
Oh yeah, she thinks she's putting pressure on him. There's also the thought that his only motivation is her instead of himself, and it's a big chunk of it. And it's not until that moment Kazuya goes, "You know what? You're right. I do care too much about what you think rather than for myself." That's kind of a good realization moment. There's also his own more forceful nature, his drive to get what he wants, and there's two scenes for Kazuya. One is he embraces her, right? And tells her that she likes him, or she likes her, he likes her. Got it right the third time. It took a little bit, and he's gonna kiss her. He's gonna take the initiative, and a tear goes down her eye because she realizes she doesn't want this from him, and he does an extremely mature thing, and he stops.
Yeah.
Which is quite something. I was not expecting that. The show always, in scenes like this, I always got the thing that I did not expect, but it makes so much sense, and it only makes me care about the character more. And then there's another scene which really was making me mad, and that's when they're playing cards in the study room, and Kazuya all of a sudden goes, "All right, let's bet." It's like, okay, what are we betting on? And he goes, "Minami."
Bam.
And Tatsuya. And Tatsuya and Minami basically look at each other and look at Kazuya and are like, "Ah, shit. Yeah. How do we stop this?
I mean,
what do we do?"
It is good. It is good. It is a good scene because Kazuya is very
It's a great
mild.
scene.
He rarely speaks, and he's usually just playing baseball. But suddenly, he just goes full aggressive mode. Just like everyone is playing and being happy, and he just whips out a fucking shotgun. It is
well, and
great.
also
he
was
skips
kind of
a bunch of things. He just goes like, "I'm marrying her. I'm not dating her.
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
dating.
not messing
I'm
around.
Straight up going to her father and asking to marry her."
It was also built on that moment because Tatsuya let him win in the card game,
before,
and he always does that. So he's like, "All right, I'm not gonna have you let me win. I'm gonna earn the woman's heart," kind of deal. But he goes about it very.
It goes back
I think
to,
this is a
to
good.
what Harada says, right? Tatsuya doesn't fight back, and Kazuya sees that and say, "All right, look, motherfucker, I'm just gonna stay here and punch you, and punch you, and punch you over and over again."
Yeah, but it's not just that, right? Because for Kazuya's part, right? I think a lot of his drive comes from the fact, like I said, remember, as children, he was the one who failed at everything. He was not athletic. He couldn't run very well. He fell down. He was slow. He was about as slow as Minami was. And in everything, Tatsuya was the superior one. He was the one with the natural talents. So, but this kind of, the difference between Kazuya and Tatsuya is that this strengthened his competitive spirit. He knew that in order to catch up to his brother, he needed to train. So he did. Mm-hmm. Where Tatsuya didn't. And as a result, he got better. Better than Tatsuya, because Tatsuya never trained. Right? So it's kind of like, so it's his competitive spirit that that's the one thing he can beat his brother on. I try harder than he does. Right? So I'll just keep pushing. I'll keep trying. And if I keep trying, I'll win. Right? Then everybody's pretty much accepted. Even Minami in the beginning. When they talk about everything and it's like, what they're going to do with their future. Minami's pretty much set that she is going to marry Kazuya in the beginning. Like she says to Tatsuya, if I don't, I need to think about the future. If I don't prepare for the future and don't play my cards right, something bad might happen. I might end up marrying somebody like you, referring to Tatsuya. Right? Which is obviously not a good look, but it's the kind of because it's the mentality that's gone in at first, right? It's like, you need to find the perfect man. In everybody's eyes, Kazuya's the perfect man.
But is that what she really wants? And she does a lot of soul searching in some episodes where, it's like cutting to her staring off at the moon in the night on the balcony. What do I do?
Yeah, but that's because, again, she isn't totally sure. She's fairly certain that she likes Tatsuya, obviously. And she's not certain about her feelings for Kazuya, but she can't change the fact that at the end of the day, they both matter to her, just like she matters to both of them. And they matter to each other, right? But she has a weird thing because, like, expectation for what she should do versus what she wants to do, and does she actually want to do the thing she thinks she wants to do, or it's kind of like it's weird, right? And I feel like that and then again, something the show does really well. Every character, because they're teenagers, they're kind of confused about their situation. Like, they have expectations on them, they have things that people expect them to do. But it's like, is that what they want to do? It's like, no, it's not really what I want to do. But why don't you want to do it? Do you don't want to marry Kazuya? Do you not like Kazuya? No, she likes Kazuya. Right? Like, do you like Tatsuya more? Not really. I like them both. Right? It's like, it's weird. It's a weird situation.
Yeah, but it makes total sense.
Yeah.
With the way the show is presented. I do want to go back to that whole scene where, Tatsuya tells her that I gotta figure this out. He also says the line in that scene, I don't want to ruin what the three of us have right now. We're still in high school, right? Let's enjoy this while we still can have this. And I go, oh my god. That is one of the most mature things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, but if you remember,
why do we have to?
It's like I said, I really don't like those Japanese high school stories because motherfuckers are having like existential crisis and they are having problems that married people have. Meanwhile, when I had their age, I was like, I'm still eating paste on school. It was just like, and so,
oh, that's you, Hickey. But
come on, you get the analogy.
I get it. But the thing here, what I like about that is because there is the other side to that, which is Kazuya, who says, who has the line, a line somewhat like in the show where they have Minami. He likes the relationship that Minami and Tatsuya have currently, but he knows it's not going to last.
Right.
And
so
therefore he wants to be the one who breaks it.
Yep.
Right, so it's kind of I like that. They're like you got both sides of the coin with the two brothers.
Yeah, both answers are in a way correct.
Yeah,
I got no. Okay, so we've been beaten.
I mean, there's a third option. She chooses none of them.
well, yeah. It's actually Harada. I was fancying for this whole time. Boy, that's what anime today would do.
And comes the ugly bastard and ruins everything.
Yeah. He's so big and strong. He's not like you twin brothers. So, if you haven't guessed right now, Minami likes Tatsuya.
Yes.
And
she knows
there
everything.
is a scene, right, and there is a scene after the boxing match where Tatsuya is devastated and he tells her, I'm all sad I let you down, and she just goes, well, what do I need to do to cheer your ass up? And he's like, and he just kind of nonchalantly makes a joke. Well, usually the girl would kiss the guy and, that'd make him feel better, and she just does it.
Silently kiss the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's just, what just happened?
Yeah. I mean,
and she just goes, see you tomorrow.
it's really cool. Like, everyone knows everything. It's a very chessboard-like romance triangle there. Because Minami likes Tatsuya, she knows Kazuya likes her. She knows, what Tatsuya is doing so Kazuya can win. And she even calls him too good of a big brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because of that. So like it is very, well, the problem with Minami is that she's too cryptid. She should be a little bit more straightforward with her feelings.
Well, Tatsuya calls her out on how cryptic she is.
Yeah, just
because
a little bit.
For days and weeks, was it weeks? It was at least days where after that kiss, Tatsuya goes, "Why is she still acting the same?"
Yeah, like
when did it even really happen? Was she just trying to make me feel better?
Yeah. When
like, these questions
when they are going back to school, I think at night, and he's like, "Remember, like." What that thing, the case, let's just think that never happened. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, hold on. And he's like,
No.
the thing, let's just forget about that. And she kept saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Until the end where she's like, all right, fine, too good of a big brother. I get you drift.
No. Hold on here. That's not what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No, what she did, she said that she didn't want to forget.
No, yeah.
It was her first kiss. She refused to forget it.
After...
You both are right.
Yes, I know. After he insists to her, to forget the scene, forget the case, while she's saying, I don't know what you're talking about, then she speaks. I don't want you to forget because it was my first kiss. It's special. But she's very cryptic. She acts like she doesn't know what he's talking about. Right? I think she should be just a little bit
at first he's being very vague about what he's saying. He's talking about the thing, the thing.
Yeah. He won't outright say it because he can't accept that it even happened.
The thing that happened between us. I don't know what that could be. There's been a lot of
of course
I
not.
agree. I agree that she
be.
could. Obviously, of course, she could have used conjecture. But again, I feel like it would go against the point, right? Because he needs to kind of confront himself because he wants to pretend like it never happened because he feels bad for his brother that it happened. Even though his brother likes teasing him about shit like that.
Yeah,
and of course Kazuya overhears all of this.
No, it's the fat man, the fat friend.
Well, that particular
Kotaro.
scene, and Kazuya does.
He does know what happened,
or does Tatsuya tell him?
He doesn't tell him because after that, a few episodes before the big thing, Tatsuya start fighting back. Finally, he start punching back, and they are laying down. And Kazuya say, "I'm not giving up. I like Minami, and I'm not giving her up to you." And Tatsuya says, I'm a few steps ahead of you." And Kazuya say,
Yes,
I know about
scene,
everything, but I'm still not giving up.
Yep. Yeah, so he knows about the kiss. I just don't know when he found out. I guess his friend told him.
Explain. I don't think the friend said, but I think he just assumed it happened.
I think he's aware. But yeah, no, it's not explicitly told why he knows, but he does. I mean, a lot of our perception of this comes from Tatsuya. We often see when he gets involved in situations and what he sees. I feel like, it's very easy just the fact that, just like Tatsuya shows up and spies on them when something happens. Kazuya could very easily do the same. It's just that we don't get to see that.
All right, so the baseball part.
Yes.
Kazuya's a badass ace pitcher. He basically single-handedly takes the team all the way to the finals.
Uh-huh.
And he's so for those that don't want a major spoiler, we usually have no qualms about spoiling the shit out of the show, which we won't, but this is a fair warning. Something massive happens.
All right. Do you want to make a disclaimer right now?
Well, this is the disclaimer right now.
All right. Look, a few shows or a few manga we review right here, especially when it comes to seasonal things, we don't talk about the plot because it would ruin the show. So we just say, take my word for it, go and watch it. Right now, let's just give this, in this little disclaimer, a score. And then we talk about the last part, the baseball. And then let's talk about the baseball. When we finish the baseball and we talk about the score and then the last part, which is a major happening in the show. Okay? So right now, if you don't want to listen about the baseball and the other part, I would advise you to stop listening. If you want to hear us talk about baseball, which is honestly for a sports show irrelevant in touch, please keep listening, and you can listen our considerations over the majority of the first arc of the show and a preview of the score. If you want to go all the way in, so be our guest, but you've been warned.
There we go. All right.
So baseball. Yeah. Kazuya is really, really good at baseball. But I think he only threw like straight balls at first.
Yeah, his straight ball is his kind of signature thing. It's what he's
His
the best
fastball.
at. Yeah, it's fast straight ball. But
Am I the only one that knows the baseball terms?
You're the only one who watches baseball. Yes.
I also played baseball up until I graduated high school. So
yeah, that doesn't matter. You were no Kazuya.
No, I was a second baseman.
Exactly. So yeah,
he's also a relief pitcher.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just he just knows how to throw fastballs. He can throw other things, from what I understand. But it's like the only time we really get to see him pitch is like, you know, when he's in a battle with his other guy who's like, I'm only going to throw fastballs. So.
Yeah, but the guy used a dirty trick.
Yeah, you know, shit, he did.
He's like, I'm only throwing fastballs, and then the captain's like, why are you guys not just paying attention? The guy's just using the pitch and, you know, putting an angle to the ball, and everyone's like, oh, I see. Also, that game has one of the biggest bullshits in anime that ever existed. Meisei versus Seijo High School.
Yeah.
Yeah, with her home run.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that was so bad. I was looking at that, I was like, oh, they're gonna lose the game, and then suddenly there's just a gust of wind that makes a very bad... oh my god, a bad play becomes a home run. I was like, alright, I see. That was very dumb.
I mean, that does happen. That has happened in baseball.
Come on,
but
JD.
yeah, it was very dramatic. It was very overly dramatic with the whole fluke home run thing.
Like, it was almost a minute of just the ball floating. It was like, okay.
Popped it really high into the air.
Yeah, so Kazuya defeats, aka defeats the ace pitcher of the rival school that they're going up against, and they get to the finals. Like, that was the big turning point game. Like, whoever won that was set to win the whole thing, right? So now we're at the final game. And Kazuya, as he does, leaves early in the morning to get to the game early.
No.
And then...
Wait.
Okay.
This is the second disclaimer. If you watch this talking about the sport in a sport anime that is actually very irrelevant, congratulations. Now, if you don't want to get spoiled, please just turn around and go do other things. I think you shouldn't even be here to start with, but that's my opinion. So yeah, please, honestly,
all right.
If you listen to us and you liked what we said, go watch it. Do not listen from this point on. In my opinion, this first arc is an 8.5. Right now, with all the 2 last episodes. With the 2 last episodes, it is honestly a 9.
I also have it at a 9.
Man, you guys are way too easy. I give it an 8.
All right, you've been warned. Here comes the big thing. JD, please.
Kazuya gets hit by a truck on his way to the game. And he dies.
And he does not get sent to another world.
He does not get sent to another world.
He could be in another world.
So there is an entire episode of Tatsuya realizing the news, right? He knows what happened. And he of course blames himself. He's like, I'm not a superstitious guy. Well, uh-oh.
Should have given him that lucky charm and he would have been alive.
Would have given him the lucky charm. And so he's wandering around. He's like, how am I going to break the news? And the viewer, you're not totally convinced that he's dead.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Because there was a black flag with the lucky charm. When someone forget that, usually in anime, it means something bad will happen.
Well,
but when you're talking about
there's many hints
about a name, it's
there's
like
many hints.
It doesn't.
It's like fucking...
It doesn't look like it would be a death flag. I thought he was just going to, be in the game and he would, I don't know, break a leg and he wouldn't play. He wouldn't be able to play baseball anymore. Of course, he can play
or
baseball
he'd play
anymore,
bad, or
but...
he'd tear his arm, or he got hit by a truck and break
thought
his arm.
He would have an injury. and with the injury, his career would be over, like it happened
that's what
to
I was
that
thinking.
Football player you sent, Tori, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I thought,
the knee
I thought it
injury.
would be like that, but I didn't thought it would be a fucking death flag.
No, me neither. But like, I like it because there's many flags even after that. You know, obviously, Tatsuya walking around in a daze is kind of odd. If it's an injury, it's like I get you're taking it hard, but it's this overreacting. But then, you know, he walks out into the street, and you have the trailer that stops in front of him, or the truck that stops in front of him, and he looks at it, and he puts his hand on it, and the guy says, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's like weird actions to do
he's
for
just
seemingly no reason.
Yeah, he's just in denial.
Yeah.
Like, it is great, although it is a awesome example of show no tell. Until like you see the body, it's those kind of things. Like I don't believe you until I see the body. You see the body and you see I still don't believe you, and then they show they remove the cloth and you see, and it's like, all right. But the episode 25 and up to like half of episode 26, it's a very good example of show no tell. Tatsuya is in shock. He honestly don't know how to react, so he's just walking.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking and walking, and it starts to sink in. Something is very, very wrong.
Yeah, he just can't accept it. So then he finally brings himself to go to the game, in which Kazuya is not there, and the team has to play without him. And so he gets his parents, and Harada's there, not totally aware of the situation. All he thinks is like Kazuya's hurt, right? Much like what I was trying to convince myself.
Yeah.
It's like, dude's just hurt. It sucks. And I'm thinking like, oh, Tatsuya, you got to tell everybody, right? Well, Tatsuya gets the parents, and he leaves without Minami. It's like, no, Minami, enjoy the game. Harada, tell her to just finish the game, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
Enjoy this happy moment, please, or at least finish. There's no reason to expose her to this sooner rather than later kind of situation, which, there's a part of me that goes, man, you should tell her right away, but then there's another part of me that goes, she's gonna feel shitty no matter when she finds this out.
Yeah, I don't think what he did is right, but I understand him. But the thing that also just
understand why
the thing that constantly keeps you in the dark, or the thing that also keeps you in the dark, is because he also doesn't tell his parents. He doesn't say anything. He just tells them to get with him, and then they jump in a taxi. And their parents the entire time, they're being their carefree selves, and trying to figure out, turn up the radio. I want to hear the result of the baseball game and whatnot. And they're just totally not. Not there.
Yeah, but then it dawns on them. They're like, Tatsuya, what the fuck is wrong?
Yeah, that is very interesting, because when you compare the reaction of Harada, where he talks to Tatsuya and like, what the fuck were you? Were Kazuya, and Tatsuya just doesn't make any jokes, doesn't make any remarks. He just says, I need to deal with some shit right now. Harada immediately knows something is wrong. His parents are
because
like,
that's not Tatsuya at all. That's not how he acts.
And he gets worried, which is great because it shows a progression in his character as well. But he's worried and he knows something is off, while his parents is just like, you're ruining our experience in this baseball match.
Yeah.
No, but fair on the parents that they do realize something's wrong eventually.
Oh, dude.
On the way.
I would have been pissed if they would have been like, nah, nothing.
Down cold, yes.
So Harada does in fact disobey Tatsuya's request, and he does tell Minami go to the hospital, and so she bolts, and then it cuts to the hospital, and there's the parents just in a daze. They're just head up against the wall. Tatsuya's father's cigarette's just on the ground, burning out, and he kind of goes, oh wait, my cigarette's on the ground. Let me just pick that up. And it then cuts to Tatsuya in a dark room looking at a body in a bed with a towel over the head.
Yeah.
And Minami's in the background.
Even when they do that, even when you finally get into that room, and the first thing you get is a shot of just incense burning, and if you've watched any anime, you know what this means. Oh, but even still, I remember sitting there watching that, and it's a couple of seconds, and I'm looking at that incense burning, and I'm just like, what? why are we seeing incense burning? It's like, my mind, I am in a state of shock. My mind just refuses to accept what I'm seeing. Like, no.
Yeah.
No. And then we see the body covered in a white sheet, and it's like, no. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't.
And then she lifts the sheet off his face, and you're like, why?
Not even that. Before that, Tatsuya is just like, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? How he's dead. It's just, he specifically uses the word dead as well. I'm like, you can't just...
so peaceful there.
No, you can't just so steadfastly say that he's dead, that they take the sheet off. It's like, okay, he's dead.
Yeah, dude,
he's definitely dead.
Because like it starts sinking in by the end of episode 25, because Tatsuya was like running on the streets, and then suddenly he's just sitting on the reception of a hospital, and a doctor come, to talk to him. On episode 26, you don't know what the doctor is talking about, because it doesn't have any sound, but you know that situation.
Yeah.
If anyone, if you have someone in your family that died, you already were in that situation at some point, right? You know what's going on, but your mind just doesn't accept it. It goes to the logical thing. He's just injured because this is a sport anime and a romance anime, so we need some drama, haha. And suddenly, like, everything just
we
crumbles.
Definitely got some sort of drama.
Yeah,
and that's like what you said, Hickey. How good that show is, that
scene.
Show don't tell. Because like like I said, there's 25, both episodes 25 and 26. There's a lot of really good subtle and not quite so subtle clues as to what's happened. Like you said, the weird actions, the doctor, the talk with the doctor when he's in the hospital, when Tatsuya's in the hospital, the walking in the daze, the acting completely different than what he normally would, not cracking jokes, the whole walking out into the street and standing in front of a truck and touching it, the whole reaction he gets when he drops his lucky charm when they're in the taxi, when the taxi like stops, it's like, wow, kids running into the streets. Sure, it's dangerous. And the messed up thing is that I'll get blamed if something happens. It's just, I love how they handle that situation. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. And it is more impactful when we take, the last thing Tatsuya said about Kazuya with the battling, the baseball bat scene, where he says, I'm not good enough to compete against Kazuya, but one day I will. So, Minami, just wait for me, and I'll beat Kazuya. That was the last thing he says. Now his brother's dead, and, he cannot compete anymore.
Yeah. Honestly, this reminds me of Ashita no Joe in that sense. Because Ashita no Joe does something very similar. The rival will never be beaten.
Yep.
And I like that.
So
I like that sports anime.
Yeah, what is the only way to beat them? Well, Kazuya was a star pitcher, and he got to Koshin, but he didn't win. So I think that's the only way Tatsuya even has a prayer in his mind to beat his brother, is to go to Koshin and win.
Yes, definitely. But even still, it's like he technically didn't get to Koshin because he couldn't play. Right? So there's still always this lingering doubt. It's like, what would have happened? Like, if
gotta go pro then.
Right? No, but it's the same. It's the same thing in Ashita no Joe, right? Because, like, the rival dies. And, yeah. It's just, you don't... Like, the only way to beat him, like you said, is to become the best. Mm-hmm. Right? That's the only way. But even still, he was on his way to become the best. He probably would have been the best. So,
it's always like 80 episodes to go. Oh.
Yeah, like 74. It's, oh, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch more. I'm definitely continuing this. This is way better than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, this was way. I had some expectations, but it wasn't nearly as high as this. What I got is one of the best romance dramas I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
I'm no doubt continuing the show.
And I was expecting a baseball anime.
I was expecting a baseball anime. Exactly.
I mean, there's baseball there, But we
Yeah,
can say
like I
that
said,
about basically
it's a-
every single anime created in existence because for some reason they always have a baseball episode. So yeah,
But that's what I said in the beginning as well. I think the best description of this anime I've ever seen is this is a teenage drama, like romance drama with baseball in it. It's not a sports anime.
Everything about the show is captivating.
Yeah.
The character design, the art style, the background, the colors, the music. The music sounds like something you would hear from in the 1960s. So it is highly captivating. I have a few problems with some characters that appeared. It's a little bit inconsistent because they would just appear one episode and then just disappear for 15, 16 episodes. Come back like nothing happened. Because of that, some character developments would reset, like nothing happened. Especially with Kotaro and his girlfriend, for example, Harada and the girl that likes him, which is the sister of the other ace pitcher.
I'm sure they'll come back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
they came back by the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a problem because you have a little development, but when some characters they just disappear, you have a little step back. They backtrack a little bit in development, but it's fine. It's nothing that breaks the show. It's just a little remark I have to make. But other than that, it is highly captivating from episode 1. I watched 12 episodes in one day. So that counts for anything, right?
Yeah.
This what impressed me the most was how well this holds up to the test of time.
Oh yeah.
Like, this could have been made yesterday, with the exception of some animation techniques and whatnot.
But it was made yesterday. It's called Mix.
Oh right, yeah. Well, it's not the same thing.
No, it isn't. I mean, it's based on a lot of the same events, but there are marquee differences that had to be made because of it still has to be related to touch. So there are certain things that like character relations are different. Like for example, in touch, Minami is the is the childhood friend, whereas in Mix it's the star pitcher and the girl. They're related. It's the odd one out who is the other guy, although he lives with them because reasons. But yeah,
I'm sure people died in that too.
They did. I'm just not going to say why he lives with them.
Right.
Yeah, but like one thing I'm interesting, and I'm definitely continuing that. Although I think we will probably have another cast on Touch, so I'll leave for that. Is that 100%? The author,
so along with Legend of the Galactic Heroes, we're continuing Touch on this podcast for sure.
The manga author really likes teenager romance with baseball in it, and he has another thing.
And Koshin.
Yeah.
No, but I'm serious.
Aside Mix, he has another manga that became an anime called Cross Game, which has basically the same synopsis of the except I think the love triangle. So I'm highly interested to watch that one and compare to Touch once I'm done.
Cross Game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So same.
Yeah,
I had already planned to watch Cross Game, so I'm more excited for that now. But obviously,
when did Cross Game come out? How early is that? I'll look it up.
Cross Game 2009.
We got some time.
Yeah. No, but the thing that I like, the thing I was going to say was with the author, like you said, he likes teenage drama and he likes baseball. Yes, it does, and from what I understand, that has to do with his own childhood. He has a big fascination with Koshien because it's played a big impact on his life himself, which is why he kind of wants to always write about Koshien. That's why it's always ends up being baseball. But it's not because he's like super baseball. Yeah, let's get into the intricacies of this sport. He doesn't really care that much, but there's a fascination, like kind of a how he romanticizes Koshien and the whole act of getting there, and so I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So depending on how this story plays out, the show could go up a point or down a point. Who knows? For me.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, because like they pulled such a strong card in the first fucking arc.
I know what you mean. Hickey.
And
You're right, they're not going to be able to live up.
Possibly go from here.
Right? More people will die, or someone will masturbate.
More people will die.
Well, I mean, I did say many people died.
Parental death down the road, like shit.
It's just gonna be. It just becomes a battle royale. No, like I think it will probably go down 1 point when it comes to the story, because
It's possible. That's what ended up happening with
now that
Maizumi
Kazuya
Kaku
is
for me.
dead, there's not much room to deviate from to an end that we already talked about. Probably he will start baseball and he'll try to win Koshien because of his brother, and it's the only way feasible for him to compete with his deceased brother.
Well, here's another thing that could be introduced. Is in Maizumi Kaku, another drama I like. It's much more comedy based, of course. There's a rival third party suitor that ends up coming into the mix. So I could see another man coming in to try to swoon Minami away from a very distraught and psychologically kind of put out of it Tatsuya, who just won't see what's in front of him. He's so focused, and she waits and waits and waits and waits, and that will create a drama in itself where she needs to decide something else for her life. I could see something like that happening while Tatsuya is trying to figure his life out and try to be better, right?
Eijiro just come back, the other ace bitch.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
my girl broke up with
has
me.
A little spoiler with the characters. I won't say what it is. You're not far off. Let's just say that for now.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, right? I could even see a girl coming after Tatsuya.
Yeah.
And he's having second thoughts about it all, right? Because Minami would only... I mean, look at it this way, from a psychological perspective. Minami, in his mind, was Kazuya's girl before him. So if another girl comes in, I could totally see him seeing it that way, where I will never be good enough for you, but I could be good enough for someone else. Right? Does that not make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
All right.
I'm annoyed now because everything you're saying, never mind.
All right, guys.
God damn it, Max.
Yeah. All right, guys. Are we done here? Are we done being emotional over Touch? Highly recommended show. I think that goes without saying.
Nah, I think it's kind of bad.
Gosh,
yeah. It's great. I love it.
All right. Repeating the scores for the first arc. 9.
9 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, 8.
So, we got Galactic Railroad coming up with special guest Yata in our next episode. We'll be getting that through quickly, and then we'll be on another delay, another week delay due to just life getting in the way. And that's the Lupin movie special that we've been doing, where we can talk about Tori can talk about his favorite Lupin movies, and we'll each pick a Lupin movie. So we'll be doing just a long Lupin special of 3 movies. So there you go. Look forward to that in the month of August. And with that, last little plugs. Go check out the Anime Radicals. That is our conglomeration anime podcast. That's at Anime Radicals on Twitter. Just put out an E3 episode, so if you're into gaming, head on over there. I was on that one. And if you're into just retro video games in general, Arcade Game Room, hit me up on Twitter at BowlingJD, and I'll get you a link to the Discord. And with that, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
いくつ目の夏が二人の間をね過ぎたの君が がいなければはしゃいで写した渚の写真さえモノクロ時の忘れ物本当のことだ